Hello my dear students. Today we are going to continue with the second part of energy changes lesson. And in today's lesson we will learn what is activation energy and how they can be displayed using energy profile diagrams. So let us begin with the introduction. The activation energy is introduced as the minimum amount of energy required to trigger any chemical reaction. Means the activation energy is the minimum amount of energy that is required to activate atoms or molecules to a condition in which they can undergo chemical transformation. Now what's that minimum energy? Why reactants need this energy to form the product? As we see, the reactants are the chemical species which form products after chemical transformations. Means they must be involving with the breaking of bonds and reuniting to make the new products by rearranging them. So the activation energy is required to create a condition or to create an atmosphere in which the reactants or the chemical species can undergo transformation, chemical transformations. So why this is required? First of all, the activation energy is the support or the only driving force to bring about the chemical changes. As here you can see the very simple question which arises in mind, that why this energy is needed. So the activation energy is needed so that the reactants can move together, means they can be mixed together. Why? Because when they are not mixed up evenly, their rearrangement is impossible. Then they must overcome the forces of repulsion and that start to break bonds. Like if some chemical species are enclosed in a conical flask or in any reacting medium, suppose the particles are there and the particles are very sleepy, means just they are with very little energy in them. So the energy which can activate them so that they come in the reacting mode, and this involves the collision. When they start colliding with one another, their forces are operating, the forces of attraction and forces of repulsion, and forces of repulsion should be overcome, and this triggers the breaking of bond. So atoms become free to make their new bondings. As you can see, the same concept can be learned by this diagram. And here you can see the nitrogen monoxide here is combined with triatomic ozone, and they are just present in the medium, and if they collide, if they strike with one another, they don't have enough amount of energy which can overcome the forces of repulsion, or which can in fact break the bond between nitrogen and oxygen, and here which cannot release the atoms of oxygen. So this energy is not enough to bring about a chemical reaction. That's why the collision become ineffective, because no production is observed. But here you see in the second case, if they are colliding or striking with one another effectively, means they must hold activation energy. So this energy will enable the molecules to strike effectively, means energetically, and after overcoming the forces of attraction and repulsion, the bonds are started to break, and so the new combinations are there in the conical flask. So the activation energy triggers any chemical reactions. In the next slide, we will be see how this energy can be displayed. So here you are learning a new thing, that's energy profile diagram. You see, this is a way to show the enthalpy changes during any chemical reactions, and we also get to know that how much energy is required to start or to bring about any chemical change. So these diagrams are not drawn. Basically, these are the graphical relationship between the potential energy of the reacting species or the chemical species taking part and the reaction progress. So with the passage of time, how much reaction has brought about, it's about drawing energy profile diagram. So with the help of this diagram, we get to know that how much activation energy is required for exothermic reactions as well as for endothermic reactions. Here you can see that the exothermic reactions, the overall energy of the reactants is still higher than that of the product. So as the reaction proceeds, the reactants are increasing their energy to the maximum, and the difference of energy of the reactants to that maximum point is called as activation energy. Then the system lowers its enthalpy or energy to give the final products, and the overall energy is released to the surroundings. So even they are exothermic, the reactants need the minimum amount of energy to form the chemical transformation. And here you can see for endothermic reactions, the reactants having relatively lower energy as compared to products, and the energy is absorbed during the course of the reaction. So here the reactants are activated to the transition state. Now this energy difference is the activation energy. Okay, and then the energy of the system is dropped down to form the products. The overall enthalpy changes can also be observed because the delta H is always having negative values for exothermic reactions, but here you can see the delta H for, or the enthalpy change, total enthalpy change for the reaction, endothermic reaction, is always with the positive signs. So it is all about the display of activation energy and the over enthalpy of the reaction by using energy profile diagrams. So I am just about to upload another video for this third part of this chapter, in which we will be discussing fuels in details. So if you have not subscribed the channel, please do it and press the icon, press the bell icon, just to be updated with the new release. Okay, I'm leaving you with the hope that this discussion is really worth in solving or in studying the past paper questions, and very soon I will be bringing you those sample test papers. Okay, thank you, God bless you, and just enjoy the happy understanding chemistry. Wish you good luck.